Hey guys. So something I realized being a comedian and being online on YouTube and when I was on TikTok for the multitude of years that I was on it. The reason I say multitude is I don't remember how long it's been, but it was a long time, is I had a more or less radio voice. And when I put the camera on, I had a specific voice that I would use to talk to people. Obviously, when I talk to people in real life, this is not how I talk. The reason I talk like this is so I enunciate clearly and I get everything out that I need to get out. And because in real life, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it is kind of just like fallen alphabet soup. It's just all the letters and they just kind of fall out of my mouth and we hope for the best. Well, online, I like to not look so much like a fool and I like to get the point out across and try to make a difference. At least that's what I tried to do when I was on TikTok. Obviously, I am not doing that anymore on TikTok. But do I still have that mindset to where I want to make a difference? Well, yes. But I do it in a very different capacity now. I do it on the stage. I do it in comedy. But the problem is now, it's a very different mindset in a different way where I can't just do my radio voice, as you will, where I put a camera in front of me and I talk. Comedy, it's very enunciable. There's a word, and I can't think of the right word, but, when you tell jokes, it's, oh my gosh, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's jokes in between that. I just couldn't think of one right now, so that's what I came up with, but you know what I mean? You have jokes to say, and then you're telling a story, but you're telling a joke, and at the same time, that's all spontaneously happening. But with the radio voice on YouTube or on TikTok or whatever, it's a little different. And there's not laughter in between all that where you can pause. You pause, laugh, pause, laugh, pause, laugh. On TikTok, it was words coming down a screen. You took a minute, read it, talked, took a minute, read it, talked. It was very different in a live audience. It was live on TikTok, but you were the only one there. It was live interaction with words, unless you were on TikTok Live where there were people in boxes and you had to wait your turn. So why am I telling everybody this? Because I've actually had a lot of time to think about it. And in the 4 months that I've been doing comedy, it made me realize that I want to make a difference, but obviously in a different way of doing it that I did on TikTok. I like making people laugh. I like being on stage. I like doing it. I just have a different way of doing it. I guess it's just a different stage presence. Do I get laughs occasionally? Yes. Do I not get laughs occasionally? Yes. Do I get saddened by the fact that I don't get laughs? Yes, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm not going to get mad because I don't get laughs, because it makes me learn what I did more or less not wrong, but how could I better myself? And that's what I've learned in this whole journey of TikTok, YouTube, and comedy, is how can I better myself as a person? And that's where I'm going to use comedy as my extra, or my new TikTok, more or less, is not to diminish myself, not to make myself feel worse, but to find a way to better myself each and every day, and to still make a difference in some capacity, because I do feel like when I get the laughs, I'm making people laugh. I don't care if people pay to see me or not. I'm not going to lie. Would it be nice? Yes, but that's not the reason I go up on stage, is to have people pay to see me. I think right now, at least for me, I just want to make people laugh. I want to make people forget what's going on in their lives, because I know life can get stressful. For me, I just want to give you a laugh, whether it's a goofy laugh of something I've said, whether it's just a chuckle, whether it's a pity, I don't even care at this point, but just something to make you smile. That's what I like. And even crowd work. The last time I did my show at, I shouldn't say my show, our show. I say my show because I was in it, but it was so many more than just me. It was me, Nancy, Monty, David, and the headliner, and I don't remember his name and I feel so bad, but he was amazing. This is what happens when I do so many shows that I always forget somebody's name and I feel so bad, but that show was amazing. That's also the same show that I fell into a hole in the dark and I prick a bush up my butt, but we won't go there. But the point being is I like making people feel good and laugh. I like making them smile, and that's what I liked online. I liked making them happy. But now that I don't do that in that capacity online like I did with TikTok, I would do inspirational videos and blah, blah, blah. Now I try to embrace that on stage. That is my goal on stage, and I love it. And I've always wanted to sit down and kind of express that in some way, because I've been wanting to find myself in some aspect of what I feel on stage or what I see my goals on stage, and sometimes I don't always see it in the moment, but in the long run, I know what I want. And I just had this epiphany of, oh my gosh, I need to record this because I know what I want. And if I don't record this now, it's not going to be as expressive. It's not going to be as concise. And it's going to sound like alphabet soup. So, that is pretty much how I feel about comedy. Is I just hope that it makes somebody smile. I hope it makes somebody's day somehow. And you go out coming out with laughter and joy, because that, at the end of the day, is what I hope for. It always makes me feel good after a show and somebody's like, you were really funny, or that show was great. I mean, yeah, the compliments are great, but it also makes me feel good because I know we as comedians, we did something good. And I can't take the credit for my own comedy career, because I almost walked away from my comedy career because I thought, I'm not funny. I don't have this ability to be on stage and make people laugh. Monty is the one, and I've said this before, who got me started. If you want to know that story, it's in YouTube somewhere. It's down there somewhere. It's probably in my How I Started Comedy video. But my point being is I don't take credit for myself, but I do in a sense. I don't take credit for what I have because I almost walked away from it. I give myself credit for going up on stage and doing the thing I'm doing. But if it wasn't for Monty, Nancy, Jimmy, Milton occasionally when I work with him, Jimmy the Third, all those people that help me and book me and want to work with me, I wouldn't have the ability to even be on stage, have an audience in front of me, and do the thing I do. So that's where I get the ability to be in front of an audience and make a difference in some capacity. And I love that. And that's the thing I appreciate. And that's the thing I am super thankful for. And it's the thing that makes me realize that I have something very special. That I don't need TikTok. I don't need to be constantly making videos and all that. And everything. Because you get hate. I mean, you can get hate doing comedy. Because I run my own YouTube page, so I can get hate on there too occasionally. But you know, at the end of the day, when you go on that stage and you have an audience in front of you, people are going to laugh. Some people aren't going to laugh. But it's going to teach you to have a thicker skin. And in the last 4 months I've been doing this, it's taught me that, to have a thick skin. Now, everybody's going to think you're funny. Some people are going to think you're funny. And that's the thing. And I love that. I've loved what it has taught me in 4 months. I can only imagine a year from now what on earth all the knowledge that I have gained, and the more I learn over time. And with Thanksgiving coming around the corner, it's making me more thankful of all the opportunities that I've had and the opportunities that still are on the horizon. So I just wanted to take this time to thank the people that I mentioned in this video, because it is amazing how far I've come in 4 months. But it is also amazing that I've had the opportunity to say this, because if it wasn't for the beginning of Monty saying what he said, none of this would have spiraled into what it is. And spiraling being a good thing, because now look where I am. Over 200 videos on YouTube of comedy. And every time I look at a video, there's one that either does really well, there's one that doesn't do well, there's one I could work on better. And it makes me learn to be a better person, be a better comedian, and it makes me have a thicker skin. And I love it. So I just wanted to share that kind of insight. And this one I'm actually going to post not only on my YouTube channel, but I'm actually going to share this one with my Facebook friends, because I feel this is very important. Because even if you're not a comedian, even if you're not in the industry of entertaining, just as a person, you can find that thing that makes you not only feel good about yourself, but can make you want to find your get better every day situation. And mine is comedy. When I was in high school, our motto was GBED, get better every day. And at first I was like, I don't get it. You know, I'm a high schooler. I don't get what you mean by that. As I grow older, at 32 years old, now I get it. Now I found my GBED, get better every day scenario. And I couldn't be more thankful for it. I couldn't. And every day I am getting better. Even if it's little strides, even if it's just little steps, I find myself getting better. And not even just in comedy. I find myself as a person getting better every day. I find myself emotionally getting better every day. Yes, I do have my falls. I had a fall the other day. Not a physical fall, an emotional fall. But it happens. We're human. And the thing about being human is we're going to take falls, we're going to get back up, and we're going to keep going. And that's the thing I used to share on TikTok all the time, is that you're going to fall. You're not going to want to get back up. But the thing is, it's worth getting back up, because when you get back up, you realize that nothing can keep you down. Nothing. And I had the worst emotional fall the other day, and I didn't want to get back up. But then I realized there's a lot of things in my life that have me get back up. My fiance, my animals, my niece and my nephew, my 2 dear very closest friends, my sisters. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I want to get back up. So I hope this gets to somebody. I hope somebody finds this video and takes the time to watch it and realizes what this could or couldn't do for them, because I know it's kind of emotional, it's kind of, sappy, but it's also my personal experience, and it's also something that I hope somebody can learn something from. So, I'm Sky, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.